Santos Escobar, Asuka, curse your sudden and obvious betrayals that everybody saw coming from about 10,000 miles away. Not even 10,000 maniacs. These are the turns belong to lovers. These are the turns that belong to lovers. Curses! I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from Columbus, Ohio. Bet you didn't expect a Smackdown review. I put up a poll. People wanted me to review it. This isn't going to be that long. Quickly compiled notes because really there were only a couple noteworthy things that happened on this show. That being said, look, SmackDown at times has a little bit of decent storyline progression. I do want to say what was nice about this particular episode, less bloodline. You need to kind of give a break from long-term storytelling to make sure that more people are featured and they remind you, oh yeah, there actually are other people other than the fucking bloodline on the show. So, Crown Jewel recaps. It does not feel like Crown Jewel was just about a week ago. Kevin Owens is on commentary and he can do whatever he wants, say whatever he wants, but if he touches anybody, he's suspended. Maybe it's a way to get him off of television, have him go spend time with his family, and Kevin Owens is winding down his career. I don't know when his contract is up. I do not see him going anywhere else. I see him being a commentator, producer, whatever, but he's almost or right at 40. Sami Zayn about the same. There are a lot of people from the early Ring of Honor days and the early, elevated independents that are going to be retiring soon. And Kevin Owens is one of them. That being said, he was very entertaining on commentary. When Ray came out, he's like, yay, I like Ray and everything. That was good. The LWO's in the ring. Minus de facto LWO member Carlito. Ray says he's not happy about losing the U.S. title to Logan Paul the way he did. He wouldn't have beat me without the brass knucks, but I will get the U.S. title back. But then Carlito says, hey, speaking of the brass knucks, you want to talk about what happened at Crown Jewel and the fact that Santos just left them there and this happened and everything, and it's his fault you lost the title and that he wanted to make sure you lost the title? I mean, in not so many words, he said that. And Santos is all upset. How dare you do that? Ray tries to play peacekeeper, and oh no, what turn could possibly happen in the coming weeks or in about 20 minutes? So Lashley then makes his appearance with the little lift stand that he has for some reason, even though he's a big guy. Lashley with the Profits in his corner against Carlito. BU 2005, BU 2023, BU 2007. Where are the dogs enclosed in? Well, now that I got that out of the way, thankfully none of these guys actually won the Rumble from the number one position, even if they're both family men. At least I know Lashley is. I actually don't know if Carlito has any kids. Nevertheless, Carlito, though, his dad certainly, helped elevate somebody up to heaven because he decided to have a guy take Bruiser Brody into the shower, and nevertheless, this is going off the rails on a crazy train. The match was fine for what it was. Both these guys can still move well. Lashley is nearing 50. Carlito's in his mid-40s. Both displayed some good power. Carlito having, a nice suplex spot at one point. Very good. Crowd was into it. And then the Profits and the LWO flunkies, Wild and Cruz. I'm not saying that they're flunkies of people, but as characters they are. They're the ones who always get beat up. And then Lashley ends up getting the victory. Ends up getting speared 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. Really enjoyed that. And then we get the obvious, beat down afterwards. And then Santos shows up and he won't attack Carlito. He's like, he brought him back and he accused me and I can't do this. And then the camera manages to catch Ray just somehow, like out of nowhere. Like Ray just suddenly is right at the ring. Good job, cameraman. He has a chair and manages to chase him off, and then he's checking on Carlito and all this, and he's trying to keep the peace and everything, and then Santos ends up saying, oh, you want to choose him over me, even though he's trying to have everybody get along before they get on. Boom! You were supposed to be my friend! And then he Batista bombs him. I'm sorry, it's like Batista. Or Santos channeled Batista. Ray had a lot of people turn on him. Oh, Ray and Sting, you idiots. So anyway, this was kind of fun. I mean, I knew Santos was going to turn. I didn't think that he was going to turn this soon, but you know what? It is what it is. They got to give Ray something else to do. So then, you were my hero, you're my friend. He puts him in the steps. Ray conveniently put his leg in the open spot in the steps, and a kick. So there you are. A good thing Ray's never had any problems with his knee. And then we've got Damage Control tension. I'm ignoring a lot of the backstage stuff, even though Kathy Kelly, who looked like part of her dress was starting to slip off. Not that you would get me to complain because she's a gorgeous woman. That being said, Santos, where are you going? Oh, and Ray had it coming. Ah, great. I see the Santos recently saw Chicago. If anybody gets that reference, I love you guys. Damage Control are in the ring, along with Kyrie. Bayley's wondering what the hell's going on. Because Bayley's there, and then suddenly Kyrie, Io, and Dakota show up. And Dakota's like, we were trying to make the team stronger. Io's like, I had a plan. All this, it's not to go against you. Except it's obviously to go against her. Obviously, Bayley's going to be kicked out of her own group. But, Kyrie forgives Bayley. Why does she forgive Bayley? Because they showed clips, actual storyline progression they just fell into. Where Kyrie, on July 27th, 2020, God, that ill-fated year of the pandemic. My God, I never ever want to think about that again. But for this, I understood it. Kyrie's taken out, then she went on to Stardom, did all of her stuff and everything, and now is back. And if she's happy being back, good for her. So just keep her away from Nia Jackson. She won't get brained. So that being said, all of this tension and all this stuff, but everything's cool. Kyrie forgives her and says she acknowledges that she is a leader of Damage Control. We're here to make the group better. And then suddenly Bianca shows up and says, I'm not finished with any of you, and I have friends. Here's Charlotte, here's Asuka. And I actually tweeted out, watch them have Asuka turn tonight. Or turn and join Damage Control. And I mean, I actually didn't specifically say tonight, but I was like, this would be the only time to do it. And then Dragon Lee and Cedric Alexander had a cruiserweight style match straight out of WCW Nitro in 97-98 or Thunder in 98. It wasn't bad. We weren't given much of a reason to care beyond, nothing against Cedric Alexander, but what has he done of note anytime recently? Nothing. He hasn't done anything of note, and that's not knocking him. He is talented, but he's been there for, by next year, it's going to be 8 years. And the whole please sign Cedric thing, and it was great, and I'm glad he's gotten healthy paychecks. I just wish that he was being used better. Dragon Lee and him had a good match. They had a crowd popping, some good near falls, and an inside-out DDT variation, 1, 2, 3. Dragon Lee got the victory. I fear that they're not going to utilize Dragon Lee beyond this level, though. He'll have some good matches. Maybe he'll face Santos. Maybe he'll face Ray if Ray wins the U.S. title back. Maybe he'll win the U.S. title at some point. But I don't see anything grand happening with Dragon Lee, and that's my fear. Now, I'm not saying he needs to be WWE champion, but he's talented enough to be more than how they've utilized him since signing him almost a goddamn year ago. So then we get a package on Logan Paul as U.S. champ, and he's going to hold it till Mania. He'll probably defend it at the Rumble. He might even defend it at Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. LA Knight comes out and basically says, I can say I'm sorry, I can say all this and everything, but yeah, sure, I didn't win, but I'm not done with the bloodline. Elevating all that, he's going to keep going after him, he's going to keep going after them. It's Jim Uso's fault. He's Jim Uso, he's not Jimmy Uso, because he called himself Jim Uso, and now that is what is sticking. Grayson Waller then comes out, and they jaw jack back and forth, but LA Knight just scorches him, even though Grayson Waller is pretty good on the mic, all things considered. They then end up having a match that went about 5 to 7 minutes longer than it needed to. Nothing wrong with it, though. Owens had used the telestrator, used all this stuff, and oh, look, I had punched both these guys at the same time, Theory and Waller, a couple weeks ago. You have too many sparkles on your tights. Why do you need so many sparkles? I don't know why that was so funny. But then LA Knight won. That was cool. I'm not too surprised by that, but since Theory hadn't shown up in Owens, the whole thing about him not getting suspended, of course, Theory and Waller come back out after being mocked one too many times, being punched at the same time. They mock Owens, they shove him, they pour water on him, then they throw the bottle at Kevin Patrick. He says, I can take all that, but they threw the empty bottle at you. Yeah, well, excuse me, I gotta go get suspended. He beats them both up. He ends up hitting a stunner back in the ring. Now he's got to face the consequences. So he'll get suspended, he'll be out for a bit, and then he'll come back around the Rumble or something like that, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So Then we get recaps of Solo destroying Cena. And we will see Cena at Mania 40, and I think that's about it. I really think that match further proves that Cena is done. He's done. He knows he's done. Nothing wrong with that. Father Time, latch onto his goddamn back about 5 to 6 years ago, and they ain't letting go. Bayley, Io, and Kairi with Dakota against Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka. 20 minutes after the last match ended, or thereabouts, they start this. They go 30 seconds, maybe that, to the break. They're beating up Bianca. Charlotte, can't get the tag because she gets pulled down by Kairi. Asuka is about to get the tag, and Asuka pulls away. And Bianca's like, what the hell? And then missed in the face. Charlotte's fucking had it with it soon after this. I mean, Damage Control won, obviously, because Asuka turned. And then we got a beatdown. Charlotte tried to come back. Shotzi tried to come back running with platform boots and did everything she could, but Damage Black Lotus Control is standing tall. And Bayley, if they decide to do a War Games match for the women, which they probably will because they've still got a couple weeks left, they could do that. Bayley will take the fall, and then Bayley's going to be kicked out. Because unless they do a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match, I don't know what else you can really do with this. And who else would you have? By the way, I mean, because Dakota can't wrestle, so you could do a 4-on-4. Who are you going to have as the fourth person? Well, let's see. Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and who against Io, Kairi, Bayley, and Asuka? Because Dakota's not cleared yet. Unless Dakota is magically cleared, and then I don't know if you want her first match to be back in War Games. Who knows? That being said, that is it for SmackDown. Do not expect weekly SmackDown reviews because I saw some of the stuff they got lined up next week. No Pretty Deadly, which probably explains why I reviewed this. So, yeah, I will be reviewing WWE Survivor Series. But, yeah, weekly SmackDown reviews and even weekly Raw reviews are probably not going to be as frequent in 2024 until the shows improve. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.